I don't know if you guys have seen, but there's a She-Hulk season finale little teaser up. It's not much, not a lot going on there, but there is this like little, I mean, if you blink, you miss it clip of what looks like Banner back as Hulk fighting the Abomination. And when I first seen it, I had so many questions. Like, first of all, you know, if you guys have been around here, we were talking about She-Hulk last week in our open spoiler discussion, and then after, on the next day, we talked about it once we'd seen it. And I'm really enjoying She-Hulk a lot, like, as we're getting to the later episodes. But one thing we talked about was, would we see Banner again? You know, and we went around the room, and I was the only one in the room that thought we wouldn't see Bruce Banner again. And, I mean, in my defense, we see him fly away in a spaceship, and he's like, I gotta go. I'll see you next time on Dragon Ball Z. Just, you know.
Like Poochie. He makes an exit like Poochie.
Right. So I was pretty confident that we weren't going to see Banner again. Now, if we would have asked the question around the room, if Banner comes back, do we see him fight the Abomination? It was a no chance that was going to happen in my mind. The last time we see Abomination in the She-Hulk episode, Shane, he's made his own, what do you call that? Where like just you live and you can other people and it's self-sustaining, like a commune or something. I can't think of the name I'm trying to think of, but
like Sandals, the all-inclusive resorts.
Kind of, but more like a hippie thing, you know?
Oh, yeah, so like a commune.
Yeah. Okay, so he started his own like commune for peace and serenity and trying to help all these other people understand their true inner selves so they don't have to, you know, be this monster that's inside them and stuff. And it's brilliant. It's awesome. It's super hilarious, right? Because we get this Zen version of, you know, Neil Blomsky, who hasn't and doesn't want to turn into the Abomination. And then again, now here he is fighting the Hulk. You know, he's also out on parole, and part of his terms of parole is that he could not turn into the Abomination. So again, if you asked me, would I have thought that we would see Hulk versus the Abomination in the final episode, I would have bet this whole show against it. But here we are. So again, it is a little teaser. For all we know, maybe it was something that didn't even make it. But it looks like a lot of CG to be working on for it to not be in there. And it looked cool. We just got a small shot. We see them kind of punch at each other. It looks like they're one of them catches the punch. I can't remember which one. But yeah, I am very curious, you know, what's going on there. I'm really worried now. Before this, I had no worries about the finales of She-Hulk because I don't know, it wasn't even in my mind. But now I'm like, what the hell? How are you? I mean, this show has been 15 minutes long, guys. I mean, how are we throwing in, you know, the stuff that we concluded with in episode 8 and Intelligenta, and then also maybe more Daredevil, and then now Hulk versus Abominations in there? Like, it's really got me worried that we may be setting up for a disappoint or crowded and take away from the Jen Walters character, which I really am enjoying. So I don't want to see that happen. But who knows? Maybe they give us like an hour, you know, season finale. It's an hour long or something, and we just don't know it's coming. So, I mean, that would be cool too. But as of right now, it seems like there will be a fight between the Abomination and the Hulk. Shane, I know that your favorite Marvel movie ever made is the '08 Incredible Hulk movie with Edward Norton.
That's right.
Because you're just such a big Fight Club fan.
Enor.
Yeah. That you couldn't help. You want to see like a Fight Club remade, but with him as the Hulk, right?
You know, I didn't know we were talking about Fight Club today. That's awesome.
We're not.
Hold on. No, bring it back to me. We're talking about Fight Club, right?
but Shane, I know you haven't had any chance to check out. Yeah, Lucas said in the combination, it's like a retreat, right? Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I know you haven't had a chance to check out She-Hulk much, but you did have a chance to check out this little teaser with me, and you kind of know the logistics of what's going on here. What are your thoughts about Hulk coming back in this season finale episode, and then maybe getting that rematch from your favorite movie ever?
That's right. We've been waiting. I guess it's been 14 years now.
It's a long time coming, man.
Us fans, we're diehard.
You've been chomping at the bit the whole time, though, right, Shane?
I have shirts that are just like, when is this rematch happening? It's just like, let's get Don King on the phone. Let's get him scheduled up, because this is all
Where's
what
Dana
the world
White?
wants.
Get me Dana White. I want 5 rounds in a cage.
That's right.
We want to do this properly. We want 3-ounce gloves.
Exactly. We demanded it. No, actually, watching the trailer, it looked pretty cool, but I got to say, your breakdown, because I have not been following She-Hulk. I feel bad sitting in the chair today on such a slow news day that we have to cover this trailer, because I know nothing about this show. But what got me excited was how excited you were, because you were talking about how this in a billion years would never happen at the end of this season. Well, that sounds like a great season finale to me. And that sounds like really strong writing. Yeah. And this sounds like, the writers and the creators have the audience exactly where they want you, in the palm of their hands. So, that sounds like a great idea. And, I look forward to it, because it did look really cool. And Abomination's such a classic OG, Hulk villain. For him to bust up in a She-Hulk episode with Hulk is such a She-Hulk idea. Just bring the house down. We're going to go all out, because, She-Hulk, especially the John Byrne run, which this show is based on, is very tongue-in-cheek, breaking the fourth wall, the original Deadpool. Exactly. Shout out to John Byrne. And so, being aware of that, knowing this is the season finale, she's also aware that this is the season finale. So,
well, see, that's the thing. I don't know if you've seen Shane, but we when we covered it, over the weekend,
I did hear you talk about it, how she knows something's going wrong, kind of that WandaVision.
It kind of came up on her, and she's like, "Wait, hold on, this ain't supposed to be the last episode. We shouldn't be at this point yet." And it was when it happened, man. I'm telling you, the way they played it, you would really dig it, because again, it was very WandaVision or Twin Peaks season 3 in that, like, wait a second, something's not going right. What's wrong here? What's off? And so, maybe she even doesn't know.
I think you're digging too deep. I think it was just a one-liner type of, hey, what's going on here? Waka waka type of thing. And so, but, it works, because, you're glued to this, and you got to know. And that's what you loved about WandaVision, was you didn't care if your theories were right or wrong. It's like when I watch, those stupid Shining videos on YouTube, the theories, they're amazing, because it's just like, wow, how can you keep digging so much into this? Because
and
they're so enthralled.
You're like, how does this, what, does this dude have a job, or like, is this just YouTube pays him to just dig into The Shining all day long, right?
Hey, people like me are watching it.
Right.
Although there is one, Jack is the writer. That's all I'm going to say. Check that one out. But after checking out all our videos and liking and subscribing to those first, and then check out their stuff. But it is really cool that they're bringing in the Abomination, something that you didn't foresee happening. How could they do this? So this is episode 9.
Yes, this will be the finale.
Is that usually how they run 9 episodes?
So no, actually, this has been kind of so WandaVision was 9 episodes.
Okay.
But they released the first 2 at the same time. So in a way, kind of not 9 episodes. But then everything after that's been like 5 or 6.
Oh, really? Okay.
And it's been rough. But that being said, they've all been 30 to 40 to 50 minutes, where this is 9 episodes, but they've all been 15 to 25 minutes,
Ooh, ouch,
so it's
that's too short. Not, not to criticize the shortness, just as a fan. It's just like, come on, you just got into this show, 9 weeks later, it's already ending, it's like summer camp. It's just like, oh man, now I got to wait a year to see Martin. I never see him and his toad that he captured. But yeah, so that's a shame that it's ending so soon. But it sounds like they're going out with a bang to leave a lasting impression. So you'll definitely be back here this time next year.
Yeah, I mean, here's my thing about the whole, Hulk fighting anybody thing is, I mean, honestly, I can't really stand the iteration of Hulk we're at right now. I don't. I mean, Professor Hulk in Endgame was kind of comical, and it brought this different kind of comedic sense to the character that I really enjoyed for a moment. But Hulk's been neutered, man. I mean, I say it all the time. Back when the Avengers came out, and leading up to it, and then even when we got to it, like Loki's whole plan was to unleash the Hulk, right? I mean, because he is the nuclear threat. He is what he could beat Thor. He could beat all of them at the time. Like that was Loki's plan. That he was going to use Hulk to beat all the rest of those guys and anyone else he needed. And I mean, now we're at a point where Hulk is just not that character. He's not this end all be all of the situation. So I'm just not sure what we get out of it. I'm not too sure how I feel about watching Bruce Banner fight people. And basically that's what I'm getting, right? Because he's smart Hulk. So I'm getting Bruce Banner in Hulk's body trying to fight the Abomination. So theoretically, I would just like to say who should win this fight is Neil Blonsky, the trained dude that's been a Navy SEAL and all of these things. Like he should win the fight, right? Because Bruce Banner doesn't even know how to fight. So just having a big Hulk body is great if he was fighting me. But he's fighting another dude with a big Hulk body.
And knows how to fight.
Yeah. And so what I would really like to see is Hulk get his ass whooped. And maybe somehow this could possibly bring out the Hulk that we all know and love and miss. Because, again, I really would like to see it. There was a shot, Shane, in this series in the beginning. He's kind of wearing this arm inhibitor that he's created, of course, to keep him from turning into the Hulk or whatever. But, in Endgame, he explained to us that, he had spent all this time in the Gamma Lab and, I crossed the brains with the brawn and now it's just perfect, So he kind of made like this insinuation that him and Hulk could kind of come to an agreement, right? Mm-hmm. That like, hey, I'll run this and you run this, and so, and that's kind of where they left it. And then we have this shot, Shane, in She-Hulk where they crash. It's the very first episode where, Jennifer gets her Hulk powers. And they crash in the car, and when they do, like, you can see Bruce, like, he's on the ground, and he's like, and you can see Hulk trying to come out. And it was very interesting to me when that happened. Now, we haven't touched any more on it again. And honestly, until talking about it right now, I haven't even thought about it again myself. But when that happened, I remember pausing it immediately and looking over at the rest of the group and going, whoa, guys, Hulk is not in there by choice. Mm-hmm. Whatever's happening to Hulk is happening to him not by choice. And then, Shane, what it reminded me of was that comic you told me about where Hulk is actually the good guy, right? And Banner's the one doing all this, like, experiments to him and stuff like that in his sleep and all these things, right? And it really reminded me a lot of that. And that our hero is Hulk and he's trapped. And now Banner has, like, trapped him somehow inside of his own subconscious. And so what we thought was this perfect union may actually be Hulk being suppressed, which who knows what that looks like for him. It could just be blackness for all we know. We just don't know. But to see him try to kind of want to break out, if this is a mutual agreement type of thing, I've already made the agreement. I know that you turn it on when it needs turned on. So why do I need to come out? And now the guys try to defend that, like, hey, man, it was a car crash. Maybe Hulk's just like, what the hell's going on? I better come out kind of thing. And again, maybe, but the thing with Hulk is, the way at least I know him, is if he were, it's kind of like we had this scene with Jennifer Walters in the She-Hulk series where they try to take her blood. And when they did, of course, the needle just, bends and can't even penetrate. And then later on, we find out that there's a guy that slept with her, and while she was asleep, he took her blood in human form. And see, the reason why that doesn't work, at least in the comics, is because, like, and they try to do that to Bruce, that people do, and immediately the Hulk wakes up because you're stabbing a Hulk. And so even though Banner's body is there, I mean, Hulk would wake up and he'd be like, what the hell? I'm angry. A wasp just stung me in the back, kind of thing. And so it still doesn't quite feel authentic to the character. And again, what I would really like to see is I would like to see the Hulk back. You know, I would like to see Hulk smash. You know, it's been fun seeing Jennifer Walters, and I think this gives us the chance to have that happy medium of having a smart, intelligent, quippy Hulk, and then still being able to have our, you know, savage Hulk, you know. And so with both, we can have Jennifer Walters Hulk and we can have Hulk at the same time. But with them both being that way, we're kind of getting the same character and the same vibes, and they're both kind of a comedic thing, which I feel now that we have She-Hulk even makes it weirder that Bruce is this way, because it isn't how Bruce is in the comics. It isn't how Hulk is in the comics. Even the Professor Hulk iteration in the comics he's smart, but he's not so much of a, you know, a comedic relief, you know. And so I would really like to see Hulk back. And Shane, you have some thoughts? Go ahead.
You know, first of all, you know, that Mark Waid series, it's one of my favorite Hulk series because they turned Banner into the villain.
Right.
And I've never seen that done before, and that was really cool. So if they're setting up something along those lines, that would be incredible.
Right.
The thing that surprises me the absolute most is if you would have told me back, we were dissing on the Edward Norton Hulk back in 2008, you know, that 14 years ago. If you would have told me 14 years ago that we weren't going to have another Hulk movie, he would only show up in cameos for like 5 to 10 minutes in an Avengers movie, so he's not even an Avenger anymore. And the only time we actually see a new Hulk anything is in animated form. And in that 14 years, we'd actually get a She-Hulk show before we'd bring back Hulk. I would have just been like, no way. You know, that'd be cool, but I mean, you got to bring back the Hulk. He's such a huge. I mean, your daughter's obsessed with him. I know so many of my nieces and nephews that absolutely love Hulk. They love the Hulk smash iteration way more than the Professor Hulk. They want to see Hulk smash. That's the appeal of the Hulk. It, right? Is that built-in size, those inhibition,
hands that came out?
Yeah, the Hulk hands.
Right, and you just wanted to punch shit. You didn't care about.
Yeah, exactly. They
didn't tell jokes when you punched, you know.
And you can tell that, you know, the fact that they haven't brought back the Hulk, they've completely dumbed down the Hulk, that even though he's highly intelligent, he's still kind of this lovable
like
big
a jock
beast.
Now, right?
Yeah, and you know, it's just this lovable giant. And I think it's because they're trying to make sure that he appeals to kids of all ages, that he doesn't want Hulk too scary. And now I think we're in this position where Marvel's just like, well, we don't know what to do with this character because we can't, you know, just bring him back in his own movie for whatever reason. I don't know why. It might be too scary is what they're thinking, because I can't think of. They have the CG now for it. There's no reason to.
Well, they haven't had the rights for a few years, so it seems like maybe in the last year they got Neymar and Hulk's rights back.
Okay, well that makes sense then. So, but you would at least think that something be in the works as of this point.
Right.
I mean, so whenever Marvel was able to use him in the Avengers, what was the deal with that then?
So they're allowed to use him as long as he's not the title character. So he can be in an Avengers movie
or in a She-Hulk show,
but he just can't be in anything that's called Hulk. But I think that's changed. And on that topic, and feeding into that same thing with the Mark Waid comic is, you know, and I'm going to pull this way out of my, you know, Illuminati meeting theories. That I think that there's a chance that he could be suppressing Hulk. And in fact, I'm going to say now that, you know, seeing this trailer has confirmed to me even more, Shane, because I had this kind of theory that, like I had just told you, that Hulk's been in there and he's just being suppressed. So he's probably already like super angry, you know, and he's just waiting to get out of there. And it also makes sense too, because if you remember in Ragnarok, the opposite happened, right? The Hulk was out for like 3 or 4 years, and then when Banner came back, he's like, "How long have I been the Hulk?" And he's like, "It's been like 5 years." 5 years, right? And he had no idea. So I really believe something similar is happening. And if that's the case, again, Hulk, wherever he is probably really angry and really wants to be back out, right? And so then I thought, okay, well, there's murmurs of a World War Hulk series or movie coming soon, right? So then I thought, okay, we get this scene in She-Hulk where he flies off back to Sakaar, back where Planet Hulk happened, right? And I'm thinking, okay, this is where we're setting up World War Hulk, right? Banner's going to go back there. He's going to realize what has happened, and he's going to come back here and be mad at, you know, whoever, and thus we get the World War Hulk. But now I'm even thinking more that it leads me to think that Banner's went there because he's back, right? According to this teaser, and we know he left to go to Sakaar. So whatever happened, whatever he went there for, and they were coming to get him
where's
for,
that at?
it's over. So what it may lead me to believe is that they came and tried to tell him, like, hey man, your kids and your wife and stuff got murdered or blown up or whatever. And of course, Banner don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Thanks for telling me. Those aren't my kids. I don't care. And so I think we could get to a point where at some point we find out that, you know, the Hulk somehow finds out the truth. And that's what really
the
brings
catalyst.
this World War Hulk.
I could definitely see
that he's been being, you know,
captive.
Yep, he's been being held captive by Bruce for years now. And then my family and kids die, and you don't even tell me or do nothing, and you let that happen and don't say, and your response is, "I ain't my kids." That would set up a seriously angry Hulk that I would love to see.
Who does he fight in that situation, though?
He fights everybody, right? He fights everybody.
But he's angry at Bruce.
He's got to be angry at everyone, right?
Yeah.
Because he has to wonder why they didn't question. Because, like, if you think about the scenes with Thor and Hulk that we got in Ragnarok, they're buddies. They're friends.
You're right.
So Hulk has to feel this betrayal, right? Why didn't you ask? Why didn't you get to the bottom? You just accepted, 18 months in the gamma lab. I mixed the brain with the brawn. You know, how do you accept that without wondering what happened to your friend? I mean, if again in Ragnarok, Hulk defended Thor's, you know, world, his home. The Hulk tried to fight Surtur to keep Ragnarok from happening. So if anybody's buddies, you know, Thor and Hulk got to be buddies. I mean, and then you know, everyone else in between, I think you got to be mad because, again, there just wasn't enough questions asked. And I don't know. Also, as a Hulk, you're just angry, right? At everything all the time. And I think it just would add so much snowball effect to create this real, like I said, what World War Hulk gives us is this, you know, volatile, scary Hulk. You know, like I always mention, there's the
uncontrolled.
Yes,
Hulk.
There's that first scene of comic panel where he's going back to Earth and he lands on the moon, and of course the what's the guy's names that live on the moon?
The Inhumans.
Yeah, the Inhumans live on the moon, and Black Bolt comes out, and, you know, and Black Bolt's like whispering from the distance. He's like, Hulk, and it's creating all these like ripples and waves, and the Hulk's just walking through him, and the Hulk finally says, "I didn't come here to hear you whisper. I came to hear you scream," and just starts running at him and just ends up ripping him apart. And it's just so gruesome. And I mean, there's a lot of elements in it that you probably couldn't use. At some point, he creates, like, you know, the Colosseum and has them, you know, fighting each other and stuff. And then I think it ends up being the Sentry, right, that has to see it on TV, and then once the Sentry sees Reed Richards forcibly kill Iron Man, then the Sentry's like, all right, fine. Because, you know, him and Hulk are friends too. And see, and he
also understands where Hulk's coming from. And it's like, hey,
exactly. He's like, damn, well, look, you shouldn't have did it.
Oh crap, he has them killing each other. Okay, maybe now.
Well, like, remember when you came to me and y'all was like, hey, do you think it's a good idea if we? And I was like, nah, you shouldn't do anything to that dude.
Right.
Right? And so Sentry, has been sitting on the couch this whole time watching this. And then at some point he decides to get involved. And then we get, in my opinion, one of the greatest comic book battles ever, which leads to them both, reverting back to their human forms and just kind of hugging it out and being like, dude, we're too badass to do this. We're going to destroy everything if we don't stop. So let's just hug it out.
We'll both stop.
And it was awesome. And again, there's a lot of those elements that I don't think you can get to. But to me, what's the most important part, guys, is getting this Hulk that's very angry with purpose. This is a Hulk that he's not just mad, because, Ultron robots or because he was possessed by Wanda. He's mad because, like I said, with purpose. His family has been killed. He's been held basically in prison for years now by Banner. And I would love to see that version of the Hulk. Wouldn't you, Shane?
So if World War Hulk happens, what I want to know, Key, is this a movie or is this a Disney Plus series?
So originally the rumors were that it was a movie. And so then...
Wouldn't it work better as a Disney Plus series?
You follow me.
Okay.
So then, so the rumors were that Feige and some of the other people looked at it and was like, oh man, this needs more room to breathe. So let's make it 2 movies. And then he was like, fuck, let's just throw it on Disney Plus. Because if we throw it on Disney Plus, we can make a 10-episode series out of it, and really get this story, to its full ability to be told. And so now it's sitting at the idea is that it would be like a 10-episode Disney Plus series.
And so how much money now are they taking off the table because they're not releasing this in the theater?
No doubt.
Because who doesn't want to go see World War Hulk?
Well, because the She-Hulk series was the most expensive series that they've made so far, just because...
I know all that CG.
Do all that dang
and
CG.
You could throw in Hulk and Abomination fighting each other.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy stuff.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So
very cool.
So yeah. So I don't know. I'm really excited. And today's only Tuesday, right? So got a couple more days before game day, guys. We're definitely gonna do a stay up till 2 a.m. to watch She-Hulk video or whatever the hell we want to call it pregame. I'm sure Lucas and Trevor will be here for that. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. I mean, last week having Daredevil was cool, and seeing the little tease for Abomination versus Hulk looks great. So I'm excited to see it. Guys, have you had a chance to check out this little 30-second teaser? What are you guys' thoughts about the Abomination and Hulk fighting again? Are you guys excited if we could get a World War Hulk or any of that stuff, guys? Just put it down in the comment section below and let us know what you guys' thoughts are.